My name is Al Snow. I'm a former WWE superstar, ECW star, Tough Enough MTV star, trainer of midgets for cage fighting, and also all-around magician and entertainer. And you are checking out Mega Metal magazine. Had a brain fart for a second, but then recovered.
Nice. Well, it's been a while since a lot of the fans have seen you. What have you been up to lately?
Just on the run from the federal authorities, you know. Doing what I can not to be caught, you know. If they don't find the bodies in the basement, they don't have a case, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, definitely.
And the lumberyard's always got sack rate on sale. You're not just finding evidence, you're learning a valuable masonry trade. Just a little tip from your Uncle Al, don't worry.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. Plus, I've opened up a school for CNI midgets. I think it's a lot better, you know. It's a way for me to give back to the community. It helps gainful employment for little people. And of course, you know, they're so much better than, you know, helper monkeys or dogs. I mean, they can talk, you know. Boy, can they talk.
You don't have to clean up after them either.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, they'll throw their poo too.
Wow.
Especially if they get dropped.
Nice.
Those little buggers love to get dropped. Tough to catch, though.
Now, being a veteran of wrestling, do you have a favorite opponent that you've faced in the ring?
Yeah, me. I love me. Can't get enough of me.
Nice, nice. What about complete opposite of that then? Is there anybody that you've wrestled that is like someone that you would rather not get in the ring with anymore?
Jerry Lynn. I hate Jerry Lynn's guts. I think he's a horrible human being. You know, he rapes small woodland animals, and he's despicable. So, you know, moved to Bradenton, Florida. For what reason? Simply because he could hang out with the circus freaks and maybe get a date or something with Gabor the Gorilla Girl. Horrible guy.
Now let's go back in time a little bit to the beginning.
Like Mr. Peabody? That's before your time.
Oh, hey, no, it's not. Oh no. When was the actual first time you knew that professional wrestling was something that you wanted to pursue as a career?
When I was 14, I just made the decision that that was what I wanted to do. And nothing was going to sway me from it. Don't know why. Almost 20 years later, career-wise, not from the time I was 14, but I still don't know why. You know, if you ask me today, why am I here in Hoisington, Kansas, and why am I wrestling? I don't know. You know, I just love to do it. You know, I've been very fortunate. I've been on vacation now for almost 28 years. I've never had to work a day in my life. I get paid money to fake fight men in long underwear in front of people. I mean,
how can you beat that?
How can you beat that? All over the world.
You
don't get much better than that.
Yeah. You can see the sights while you do it.
What kind of, you know, what a great job.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk a little bit about the Job Squad.
Okay.
From back in the day. How did that whole concept come about?
It became, started as a smart aleck comment and joke, because there were people, and still even more, unfortunately, in the wrestling business who actually believe that they really win matches, and the term job or job, to do a job is the fact that you lose a match. You're doing a favor for a guy to allow the guy to win. And a lot of guys would actually have the attitude of, well, who did he ever beat? And you know, the point was the same people you did, whoever was told to lay down for you. You're not really winning, and therefore the guy that's losing is not really losing. And a lot of people lost sight of that. So I started making a joke about it being, you know, that I would, at the time in WWF. WWF, it was called at that point in time. They had a gimmick going, an angle, where a lot of guys had factions, factions or groups, gangs, and like Savio Vega had Los Boricuas, and you know, Undertaker had his motorcycle gang, and then he had the
Minions,
the whatever they were called, I don't know, some cult thing for a while, and then, you know, the corporation and everybody. And the sad thing was that how that evolved on air was that backstage, a lot of the guys, there were so many factions of in the locker rooms. There was the Clique, Then there was Undertaker's group of guys. Bret Hart had a group of guys. Everybody had a group of guys. So one day, being a smartass in the catering, I made a point that I was going to make my own group of guys called Job Squad. It was just going to be, you know, guys like Aldo Montoya and Barry Horowitz and guys like that. And Jim Cornette was like, you know, why would you want to do that? And I said, well, because Barry Horowitz is probably one of the most powerful guys in the business. Now, what are you talking about? Well, if Undertaker goes out and tombstones him, and Barry gets up and dusts his hair off and walks out, who had the power in that match? The only reason that, you know, Undertaker's getting to tombstone Barry Horowitz was because Barry let him do it. And a lot of people needed to be reminded of that. So that's why I did it. And it just took off from there.
Yeah, it kind of just blew up from there for a while.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about Tough Enough.
Okay.
What did you think when you first heard the ideas of that whole conception?
I was like, okay, fine, let's you know, let's do it. And it was, you know, I'm still very proud of it and my involvement in it, and had a great time for the 3 seasons that it was on MTV, and you know, thought it was a great infomercial for professional wrestling. It was a great vehicle to help not only scout and gain new talent, but also to groom it and to introduce people to wrestling, and the people that were already watching wrestling, for them to gain a greater appreciation for just what it took to be a professional wrestler. So I thought it was a very positive thing for the wrestling.
Now, was there any of the guys that was on Tough Enough that you saw a lot of potential in that didn't ever fulfill that?
Well, certainly, yeah, absolutely.
Is there any that come to mind?
Well, there's, you know, numerous guys, you know, well, like Maven never really truly lived up to the potential that he had, but that was because of other decisions, you know, that cut his career short. Nowinski never lived up to his full potential, but because of an accident and, you know, post-concussion syndrome, and you know, a lot of the guys that were involved in that certainly had the potential. That's why they were originally picked, and that's why I chose them to win, was because I believe that they had the potential to be groomed into something much more. Linda Miles certainly could be, you know, an attraction and a draw in wrestling, but didn't really have a passion, you know, didn't like the business or love the business as much as she needed to, and it just wasn't for her, and she could. You know, so certainly, they all could.
Now, have you ever thought about booking or running your own promotion?
I did so in OVW when I was head of the developmental program for WWE, which was in Louisville, Kentucky. Or wasn't? Yeah, it's still in Louisville, Kentucky. But and I did. Was kind of put ipso facto in writing the TV, producing it, directing it, booking the thing when Paul Heyman went back to the revived ECW for a short time. I just kind of it was passed to Greg Gagne, who really, I was kind of doing it ipso facto through Greg, and then Greg got fired, and it was just in my hands type of thing, and I did it for about 2 years. So I enjoyed it very much.
Would you ever consider doing that again?
I wouldn't do it for WWE, certainly not, because there's too many people that are involved that have too many personal agendas and not are concerned about just doing business. They have more concerns about doing personal business than they do about just doing actual business. And I certainly could care less about anything but just doing business. That's all that I cared about doing. But you know, if the right situation or circumstance, yeah, I'd be willing to do it again. But as long as it didn't, you know, it was just, and it could be done. I mean, we, you know, over a 2-year period of time grew the territory or whatever of